Good morning.
Hello.
Let's hear some good news.
Some good news. I just left the gym.
That
Well,
is
I'm
very
leaving the
good
gym.
news.
Yeah. Um, uh, what's some good news? I don't know. Hopefully this house is gonna go well today. The seller still has not paid the invoice for them to come out and take the pictures. So I'm gonna talk to the photographer and see if they can reschedule because I'm not gonna pay for it.
No, I don't blame you. What about the photographer taking it out of closing?
I can see, but
I
I'm
wouldn't tell
just
my
so
seller that. I wouldn't tell my seller that.
no, I wouldn't. I'm
Not
just so
now.
uncertain about this guy, um, because he tells me that he's got a he's got COVID relief forbearance to stop the foreclosure, and that's not what the foreclosure attorney is saying.
So show me your docs, baby.
Yeah, right now, I'm
I
just
mean,
I'm
there's a
kind of
reason why people get divorced, right?
you're right. So I'm just kind of tired of this guy.
I don't blame
Uh,
you.
yeah. Um, I would
You know,
love to sell
I,
this thing for.
go ahead. You keep talking. I got a question for you about him.
Oh, I was just gonna say I'd love to sell this thing for him, but it just seems like it's one hit after another with them.
Mm-hmm. Is he, does he lie?
Yeah, definitely.
Is he a narcissist?
Um, I'm not sure. I'm still struggling with the definition of a narcissist.
Looks like a-hole, but a little different. You did not hear me say that.
Craig, ask me, I'll tell you all about it. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not really
Exactly.
kidding.
Because once you experience it, you're like, oh yeah, that is what it is. And we
Yeah,
use the word about too much. I mean, and we do that sometimes. Like we bandy about ADHD much more frequently, and we bandy about what's the one the TikTok kids are doing all the time now? It's autistic. Bandy about doesn't mean that doesn't exist. It absolutely does. And it doesn't mean that people aren't afflicted with it. It absolutely does. We just bandy it about a lot. And one of the problems with specifically narcissism is they're not clinically diagnosed. Well, that's easier with an ADHD, for instance, or a person with any other thing, because they will actually go to the doctor. Or a narcissist have a problem. So why would they go to a doctor? The problem is you go to a doctor. So anyway, but yeah, there's some ways to recognize it. But once you do recognize it, if that's what you're dealing with, then you know how to deal with it. You know what I mean?
gotcha.
It's not I'll tell you what, it's not fun or pleasant. And the only thing that I found that makes them move is something that is so flippin' big and so flippin' scary that, they finally get in their head that, wait, this is in my best interest, because they don't care about anything else. It's morality or anything like that. They only care about their best interest. So
Yeah,
things like going to jail typically are not what they would consider in their best interest. So it's a lot of fear of God,
yeah.
but there's no reasoning. There's
He comes back and act like he's gonna be compliant,
Yep.
and then it's something else.
Yeah, it's just a lie. All it is to stop the argument because he doesn't want to argue with you anymore, or you know what I mean, or have the conversation or whatever it is. And then they just go do what they want to because their words don't mean anything because there's no morality. That's how zero morality. So yeah, if that didn't drive me out of residential real estate, Craig, I mean, I don't blame you for that one. So, well, let's move on. Let's hear some good news, y'all.
Well, I do have some good news. I'm sorry. Did I interrupt someone?
Nope.
So I got a call from a lender yesterday that I had met a couple of months ago. And, he told me about some of the things that he's doing. And so I told him about commercial and developing and building, and he can fund the projects. So he can do residential, commercial, hard money loans. And they have a program in-house where, because he's based in Charlotte, but right across the border in Rock Hill and Fort Mill, South Carolina, if I can find flip deals over there and it's 70% ARV, he'll fund the loan, the project 100%.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. That is some good news.
Yeah.
All right. My good news. I did make some phone calls yesterday, which I said I was going to do, which is really good. So I have 2 people closer to being on the team. I have another one today. I'm helping with license transfer up in Illinois. So I just got to get her the rest of the way through license transfer and she'll be on. And then my other 2 people that are interested. One is in Atlanta and one is actually in Newport News, Virginia, where I was a team leader. So, and did not know me, just came into real estate 2 years ago. So, I mean, many years between when I was there. But that was pretty interesting because I'm like, oh my gosh, go talk to this person, this person, this person, this person, this person. So I'm hoping that those both move forward. And then I'm committed to staying on with those calls. And then my other thing is a weird bit of good news. So yesterday I called the doctors in the morning because I threw a severe, what they called a severe allergic reaction with the tape. And so I called them and then they're like, you have to rip the tape off and to go get this stuff and put the stuff on and and it's from my knee all the way up. Like a whole leg is just a mess. And but I just went through this thing in my head of crap. If I'm ripping the tape off, that's what holds your legs together. No, that's not what holds your legs together. That's what holds your scar together. And if you're ripping that off, that can't be good. And maybe I shouldn't be doing all my exercising that I've been doing, which I pushed really hard the day before. And I'm like, and I was just going through this panicky fear thing. And this morning I cracked open, because every day I pray and then I write down my message that I get. And my message yesterday was just take care of yourself, period, walk, which I was like, this is a weird message, but okay. Never thought to go back to it when I was going through that whole emotional roller coaster of, oh my gosh, do I walk? Do I not walk? I'm like, well, there you go. So I told my husband, I'm like, I am stupid. And your husband's like, you are not stupid. You are very forgetful. And he's right. He is like, stuff's got to be written down. And then I actually have to go back to it. So anyway, that's my good news. My good news is I'm really good. I got the stuff I need. Everything looks better and, back on the mend again. And today I am going to go do my double exercises again because it pissed me off yesterday that I felt like I was, out of fear. I let myself not do something out of fear. That was silly. So my good news is not to do that. There you go. That's my good news. Plus my 2 girls. But what else you guys got?
Well, if we're going to go down the medical route, I got to go back to PT yesterday because on Monday, I decided to wake up dizzy again. Yay. It switched ears and canals, and now my balance is off too. This one's totally different than the other one. I like the other one better. I guess I'll play it by ear. I get to go back again today.
Are you drinking enough water out of curiosity?
Usually I am. I mean, there's days when I don't, but I mean, I carry these things around with me and I have multiple ones in various rooms. Each one are 32 ounces.
Okay.
So, I quite often.
Okay. Because I know my mother-in-law was battling it and we couldn't get her to drink any water and she was fighting us. And she was drinking, so my cups are like this size, cups actually. And she was only drinking like 1, maybe 2 a day. And we popped her on it and she fought us big time. And then I bought her this, well, actually it was mine that I gave her this big, huge pink thing. And I'm like, I want to see 1 full of those, preferably 2 going down you every day. And then we can kind of watch because we can watch when she's refilling it. Like I want to refill that thing twice to make sure that that's getting in her. And her dizziness is much better now.
Yeah.
Not to minimize yours because I just
Oh,
don't know.
no, I mean, I wish it was that simple. Because I don't like sleeping sitting up. I'm not very good at it.
Oh my God, that's bad, Dizzy.
Yeah.
I
And
think
it's-
drunk spins.
Well, this one, it's hard to describe. The other one, I was dizzy when I was laying down.
Mhm.
And she gave me one treatment and it went away. It was great.
Wow.
And, you know, I just had to be careful and do these exercises and stuff like that. But it went away. And she had told me I could do whatever I wanted to do again, you know, whatever. And I did a lot of that, over the weekend.
Mhm.
Monday morning, I woke up all wacky.
Ugh, getting old. I mean, it's better than the alternative.
Sucks. Well, I don't know sometimes,
Better
but
than the alternative. Well, I don't
Anyway.
know what that is.
Craig,
Hmm.
is your person maybe able to help Bree with her lending need for her client?
Her person in South Carolina.
No, they're in Tennessee.
I'm not sure. I don't know if he's licensed in that state or not.
Well, to lend money, you don't have to be licensed.
Oh, I mean
You mean
private
as
money?
far as hard money?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I can
Or a
ask.
private money loan.
Yeah,
Right.
I can see. I'm not sure.
I got a private money guy too that we really liked. I mean, it's just easy peasy to work with.
Just a thought to throw out there. But and the other thing, last week I went to a meetup and it was about short-term rental and boutique hotels.
Oh,
And it was more on the hotel side than the other, but it was really interesting. It was almost like going through a car wash and putting your credit card in. It's crazy. They have this, how many, 22 unit hotel
mm-hmm.
with no employees. They book it like an Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
There's a room with snacks. There's firewood you can buy or whatever, for the fire circles out front.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all, whether based on trust. I mean, the rest of it is booked, in advance online. They
Mhm.
scan things to get in their rooms, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of crazy. It's interesting.
That's very interesting. It reminds me of the old days. Well, we still have them all over Florida where we have unmanned fruit stands and honey stands and all that. And they're all over. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that. That's interesting.
But on a way bigger scale.
Yeah, which I love that. Just, I just kind of love that concept. Like the libraries that you have all over the place now, the little tiny ones,
Yeah.
they're adorable, which I kind of want one of those. I think they're just cute as all get out.
Me too.
Yeah. All right, let's hear some more. What do we got down there, Anna Liz?
My news is not, well, good morning, everyone. First, let's start there.
Good morning, Liz.
I too am battling some stuff on the health front, and so I'm just happy that today's a better day than all weekend has been. And yeah, that's it.
You still reading Attilia or whatever his name is?
Yes, I've been reading him as much as I can all weekend. It's a great book.
Mm-hmm.
Information in it. But yeah.
Yeah.
He's got a podcast, a website. I've been kind of doing a deep dive into him because I need to figure out what the heck's going on with me. So
You've got some good stuff. He's encouraged me as soon as I can get back in exercising to work up to, I used to do the big tall steps and I stopped a long time ago. And I want to work my way back up into that again my husband called me out and he said, it's not your bad leg anymore. It's your better leg. I'm like, he's right. It is. So I want to get back into that and with my better leg and start using that and building that in with the addition of some other stuff. But that's my first goal is to work up to that. Anyway, it's really interesting. All right. Congrats. I'm glad that you're deep diving into him and I'm glad that your today right now is better. And PF, what do we got? Come on.
Good morning, guys. I really, really missed you. I hope everyone's doing well.
You sound a little rough.
I do. I've had a rough weekend.
Mm,
I don't know if it's allergies because I took Theraflu. Normally it helps, but it did nothing. And then I took Claritin yesterday and I felt much better. So I'm thinking allergies, but like a really, really severe form of allergies that I've never had before. I have no idea, but it's really bad here. The Texas cedar fever, I think they call it, or something. I don't know. But yeah, sorry for my raspy voice. Um,
it's okay.
I got
Be
a
sexier.
commercial listing, so that's good. What, love?
Nice.
Yes.
They said it's
So
okay. You just sound sexier. So just keep on going.
That's what my
Oh,
professor
you're
used
so
to
cute.
say.
Yep. Yep.
Oh,
You got your commercial
not
listing.
sure.
Where'd it come from?
It was actually Ganu. She's really good about spending time on social media. Um, so anytime someone comments like they need a commercial realtor, she tags me. And this was a prospect I connected with a couple of weeks, months ago, maybe even. And I met with her. It was like an instant connection. Um, she's like she had some work to be done on the house, so she decided to leave off it's a multifamily home. She decided to leave it to completion first before listing it. She finished it and then she called me up and said, okay, it's time. So we went live Thursday. No, Friday. I think Friday. But I think that was the wrong decision because it was Memorial Weekend. I feel like I
Oh,
should have waited until this week to list it.
it's
I
always
don't
a
know.
crapshoot on those holidays. I mean, the biggies that the Americanized biggies, Christmas, Thanksgiving, 4th of July, those ones, you pretty much always follows the same thing. But the Memorial Day, Labor Day, Valentine's Day, it's a crapshoot. I've seen it go amazing
And-
and I've seen it suck. And I cannot
Right?
reason down to any of it. I really don't know.
So
So
crazy.
it is. It really, really is. Um, I can't think of any. I will say this, I've listed houses in the dead of winter in like massive snow, like deep, deep snow, and they
Mhm.
sold fast. And so
Whoa.
yeah, which is counter, right? But I told people, I'm like, here's the deal. Nobody lists their house this time of year. Anybody who's looking, there's
Mhm.
people looking, but they're flipping desperate because nobody goes out in this stuff to look at houses. I mean, if you're
Right.
houses and 18 inches of snow, you're crazy. I'm crazy for being there. You're crazy for looking. You're gonna buy, and I'll sell the crazy. I'm fine with that. Whatever. I'm just crazy too. Let's go do it. But it's happened to me twice. Twice I've listed in super deep snow. And in Washington State, it'll snow and then it usually goes away in 3 or 4 days. But once in a while, we'll get like a 2-week stretch where it's just nasty. And I listed both times at the beginning of those 2-week stretches and we sold like just hotcakes. And it was just like, well, here you go. I guess
Right.
you can do. And I know you guys,
That's awesome.
you guys get some crazy stuff, crazy. Well, hang on. I don't know if do you get snow where you are? Like bad? I know that on the other side
We
of
had the
Texas.
snow
Nice.
apocalypse like last year
That's
where
right, you
we
did.
called it apocalypse, which was
You
like
guys did.
nothing. It's laughable to anyone who lived in like the East Coast or Canada or anywhere else, but we literally had no infrastructure, so everything was shut down
Exactly.
because of just very, very, very mild winter.
You know,
But
I lived in, so twice I've gotten stuck in Texas, the eastern extreme of Texas, I've gotten stuck in bad snow ice driving in February twice.
oh
In
wow.
Palm Springs, for me to go to work where I live, I could go on the flat, big Highway 10 major road, piece of cake, or I could take the mountain road, which took about 3 times as long as in the mountains. It was really pretty, twisty, curvy, windy thing. There was this much snow. I kid you not, like this dusting on the freeway, and they shut down the whole entire thing in Palm Springs. Palm Springs. And for me to go to work, I had to go drive in the stupid
God.
mountains. And I'm like, really? I could have been on a flat paved surface, but no, I'm doing this because you guys think that's safer. I just, oh, well, anyway.
Crazy.
Yeah. So, well, congratulations on your new listing.
Thank you, my love. I appreciate it.
You are very welcome. Piaf. Give me some good news from Boston. Besides, you have new birdie babies.
Oh, you saw that on Facebook. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yes, no, I was putting out, I've been feeling stuck because of the bird on my porch. I didn't want to disturb it and have it abandon my her eggs because I didn't know how many eggs there were. And so I was feeling very stuck in my
Mhm.
life. It's like, I can't put out my plants in from the porch into the from the about, what am I talking about? From the stairwell
Mm-hmm.
out into the porch,
Mm-hmm.
from the hallway out into the porch, because the bird, I don't want to scare it and blah, blah. So I was feeling like I couldn't make any progress in my whole life because that was like weighing on me. And so it's, kindness is my worst enemy, I think. I don't know what I mean by that, but I was just trying to be nice and kind to the bird. So I finally was like, well, let me try this strategy. If I always turn my back towards the bird and not make any sudden moves and
Mm-hmm.
approach where she is gently, maybe I can put out the plants. That
Mhm.
worked. So I
Okay.
put out all my plants and I watered them and all of that stuff. So that was very good. I felt like I'm making progress. That also got me to finish my laundry, which was a big mountain in the middle of the living room.
Uh-huh.
TMI, I guess.
Oh,
Oh, who's that?
Oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
Is that
That's
baby
one of
one
the
or
two.
two?
That's baby one.
that's baby one.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, so precious.
Beautiful.
Oh, so,
Absolutely beautiful.
oh,
I didn't know I
wow.
was gonna pause the but
I'm
this is
okay.
both of them together.
Yes, he's become a
Oh,
grandpa.
Yes, sweet.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Oh, they're beautiful.
They are.
Thank you.
oh,
You can tell I'm a proud grandpa.
adorable.
And my
He is
daughter's
gonna
even,
be grandpa to birds. He's gonna show us bird pictures next time.
yeah, the second time.
I've been a grandpa to birds for a long, long time.
It's
So-
hard to get bird pictures when they're nesting in there.
You're right. Yeah.
I have a
So-
picture from when I was 4 years old of robins that let us get like this close to take the pictures of the babies and the mommy in the nest. So my grandfather actually took the pictures. It was very cool.
Wow.
So, all right. So,
I got lucky because the birds decided to nest on this pot that I had herbs growing on.
Mhm.
And then I just let it die and I didn't move it because it was pretty and it was by my window. It was on this table and I was like, I'll just leave it there. And I moved all of my little solar lights that were extra onto that because I didn't want to, I don't know.
right.
So yeah, the birds decided that was the best place for them to nest. So, which was very convenient because the first batch showed up like around that. So there were little birds all suddenly cocooning in the middle by my window back in February. And that was like, oh, how convenient. I could take pictures from inside the house.
Uh-huh.
So anyways, yeah, so second batch.
So what kind of birds are they?
I think they're called morning doves.
Oh, ooh, ooh.
Those
Exactly.
are wonderful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
And
That's just
apparently they like to return. If they start nesting somewhere, they like to go back to that area. So,
nice.
And I read somewhere that they mate for life too.
oh
They're
wow.
one of the birds that do that.
Oh, that's so cool.
That is very cool. Yep.
Yeah.
We need some nature. You're much nicer than I do. I have hanging baskets. I have one right outside my window here and then one outside my husband's window, filled with flowers. And every time I see a bird even thinking that you're going to nest up in there, I'm like, it's time to water the plant. I just watered it earlier. I'm like, don't live in my plant because if you don't water in Florida, it's going to die. And I'm like, please pick
Right.
someplace else. Do not live. I mean, I know it's hanging and it's a basket and it's pretty and it's full of flowers. You could get right down in there, but
Uh,
I'm going to water you every day and I don't want to hurt your babies. So don't no time to water.
Yeah. Well, you know, in a way, you're preventing them from making a bad decision.
True. Very true. Because, you know, I
Yeah.
don't want to water eggs, then I would cry. It would be awful.
Exactly.
I do want to adopt a raven though. I really do. We have some crows and ravens around here, and I swear to goodness gracious, if I ever retire, I'm gonna like start working with one. I think they're the cool, they're so smart. They're just
They
so
are.
smart.
Yeah.
Love them. Love them.
Just
So
I had a
Right out
baby
there.
crow. I had a baby crow when I was about 10 years old.
yeah.
He fell from the nest and I nurtured him, but he ended up dying. And I kept my cat away from him.
Well,
So
good
that
for
was-
you.
Yeah. But he ended up dying.
So, Craig, what are your grandchildren's names? And how old are
Dakari and Dallas, and they were a week old yesterday.
they? Wow. Two
Yeah.
boys?
2 boys.
Wow, congrats.
Thanks.
Big
I appreciate it.
All
So
right.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah, go
my
ahead.
daughter even sends me pictures and texts me now. So I hope this brings us even closer together.
Craig, I'm going to tell you, there's promise. I had a lot of struggle with my darling daughter, and there's close and thick as thieves now, but it was a lot. And it was 2 times, well, 3 if you count when she was a teenager and obnoxious and living with us, but that's a different thing. 2 as a young adult though. And she's completely come around again. And I think she finally we've had very open, honest communication about, we think very differently. We will respect each other's, you can have your thoughts and all that kind of stuff. We're going to try and change the other person, but we also get to talk about the things that we disagree on, but we will have healthy, respectful conversations around them. If, you know what I mean? Like if that's, you know what I mean? If we're not going to hold back out of walking on eggshells, I guess that's the point.
Yeah.
We're not going to, neither one of us do that. And we're kind and gracious and loving, and it's a really good relationship. So
That's good.
Yep.
My
and
daughter's whole problem and view of me was because of her mother, and her mother's
Yeah.
still an
You'll
asshole.
come around and learn the truth.
So
Both
yeah,
my
she's
kids have
learning.
problems with me.
You know, after the debacle when my son and I went up for the baby shower, and you know the plane was
Didn't make it.
delayed, and we didn't make it. So the mom was mad, and you know, said it was poor planning and all of this bull, you know. But
Playing the weather.
Because you work for
Yeah.
the FAA.
absolutely, our God, you know,
Yeah.
to do the weather, you know.
Yeah. What's wrong with you, Craig? I had higher
I
expectations.
don't know. So did I, you know. So
I mean, you did that for
And-
fun, right?
yeah. So now since the babies are here, she sent me pictures, and she has texted me a couple times, but I don't even reply. I just say thanks, and you know, that's it, because I'm not getting drawn into your game.
No. Both my
I
kids
know.
have problems because of my ex with me. My son came around pretty quickly. It took my daughter a bit longer, but they will learn. They will look at your life, and then they will look at their life, and they will be able to draw their own correlations, and they will learn. I promise you, they will learn,
Yeah.
regardless of whatever other stuff has been fed to them.
And the good thing about it is her husband likes me.
And also, that's very cool. That is like, congratulations, that's awesome. And also the other thing that happens is when, let's say you had a really rough childhood and you were, let's say something bad happened at 4 or 12 or 16 or whatever, right? And you remember whatever it is. When your child hits that age, you will relive it through your child's eyes. Not your child actually doing it. All of a sudden you will see what a tiny child you were and how you thought this way about the world, but now you realize, because you have different perspective now, that you're just a kid, you know, and those milestones, as your kid passes those, mature you immensely. So as she's going through this, those are going to happen to her also. that she's
Yep.
gonna remember something that happened when she was 4, and suddenly realize, well, no, you couldn't deal with it with an adult, like you were 4, you know? So there's, I promise you, you will have a relationship and it will be good because the truth always comes out. It always does.
Yeah, you're right. And
It
I,
does.
I never say anything negative about her mom. I don't
didn't
even,
either.
yeah. So, but I know her mom, she bashes the hell out of me.
Yep.
Always
My ex
have,
did too. Yep, my ex did too. Yep, and my
you
ex,
know.
and all they have to do is just look at his life. His life is a horrible train wreck, and it always has been a
Yeah.
horrible train wreck. But when we were together, you couldn't see it because I kept that train wreck going into the station, by golly, And then I
Yeah.
said, wait, this is not my station anymore.
And my wife, she gets like livid about it, but I'm like, babe, just let it go, because I don't want her and my daughter's mom to be into it. I was like, you don't have to deal with it at all. Don't
Yeah.
even worry about it.
Yeah, not your battle.
And,
I'll take care of it.
yeah. So
Yeah, my husband does too. And out of a righteous, protecting, loving thing, he's like, that guy is a Pete. Yes, he is. He is absolutely.
yeah,
He is. Yeah. And it's just night and day. The difference between a good man and a bad man, a good woman and a bad woman. It's just night and day. So
yeah.
yeah. And we get the benefit of understanding that, knowing that, and having a good relationship later. So
Yeah.
all right. Anybody have any challenges or anything that we can hit really quickly? And then I got to jump onto my accountability call, which starts in a minute. And then I got to get my girl license transferred over. My girl's license transferred over in Illinois.
If no one has anything, I have a quick question.
Bring it on.
Listings, is there a particular day of the week you find best to put a listing on the market?
Do you guys have an answer? All right, I do. Minus the cultural area traditions of, we have brokers open on this day, and brokers opens are a thing. And if that's not the situation, because if that is, then we would time things around brokers opens. So we would have the brokers opening and then the open house, and we would list on that, and that Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So we would time it for that. Minus that. And if they're not traditionally done, I wouldn't, even if you have them, but nobody goes, I wouldn't worry about it, right? It's not a traditional thing.
Yeah.
Then I listed everything on Friday because statistically what listed on Friday sold for more. Here's the reason why. In our MLS, they had a red word new or something like that popped up for 3 days. And the highest internet traffic is like Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Sometimes people will say it's like Saturday, Sunday, Monday would be for people looking for new houses, but they're looking on Friday because they're planning out where they're going to go for their open houses. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday had that new, which means that we always listed everything on a Friday. And if you reduced the price, if I reduced the price of the house, it went on a Friday because they gave us a green arrow that went down for 3 days.
Okay.
So I believe that's the reason why. I just know that I read that one time that houses statistically go for slightly more when they're listed on Friday. And then I started digging into, well, why would that be? So that's my thing, is to list Friday to make sure that I get that.
Okay.
If MLS has that, I would look into how many days they have it and I would utilize that. If it's only 2 days, I'd probably list as late Friday night, like 11:59 or some crazy thing. You know what I mean? I would list some crazy thing as late as possible to make sure I get as much full 2 days of that I can.
Gotcha. Okay. Thanks.
Liz?
I just have a really quick question about Trello.
Yeah.
I got an email from Sugar regarding, I have to give an email address or something. What should I be doing with this Trello thing? Do I just give him my EXP email address, the one I give for the team?
I don't know what she's doing with Trello. So I can't answer that to a great degree, but I would give it whichever one you'll get. I don't get notifications from my Trello, but I set it up that way. So if you want the notifications, I would get whichever one you want notifications to go to.
Okay. It's just something for me and the team, right? It's not like something that's.
Yeah, I got it too, Liz. And I didn't even complete it.
I
actually.
didn't either, because I wasn't sure what I was supposed to be doing. So I'm assuming to give her an email address to set up whatever profile or whatever.
Yeah, she'll just set up a profile in there, and what's gonna happen with that Trello board, what they must be working on, I'm just assuming here, what they must be working on is the one that connects to Andre's board and the whole entire upline. They must be building out those cards to use that system because it's a great system for onboarding. And for maintaining relationships with your agents and all that. We use it also. I mean, I set up Gary's original board, blah, blah. So
Okay.
that must be it. So I would think they just need you just to get your card in there. I highly, maybe they're going to use it for notifications. We don't. We do not use it for notifications, but if that's the only thing I can think of that would pertain to you as far as where you would want it to go.
Okay. So would other people from the team like email me at this address?
Nope. It would
Okay.
just be, whoa, hang on. It would just be within the team, like maybe they're gonna use it, because you can't email within Trello, so they might use it to do things like happy anniversary, happy work anniversary, happy birthday, congratulations on your listing. It would be those kinds of things. I would think, again, knowing what I helped Gary set up originally, that's what they would be using it for.
I only asked for the distinction because I use one address for that type of stuff. It is my alternate EXP address. Then I use my EXP address if like they're going to use it to have as a contact for referrals or anything. So I use my EXP address for that.
Gotcha.
Do it if it's internal team stuff, just like communication type stuff. I use the alternate email address that is also under EXP.
How did you get 2 EXP addresses?
Because they asked me for an alternate when I signed up. So it's not like an exp.com.
Oh,
It's like lizcorralisdc@gmail.com.
gotcha. All right, that makes sense. Yeah, okay, now I get it. So I was like, wait, how did you do that? Because I'll set up multiples of those if I could.
Well, they did set me up under Elizabeth and then deactivated Elizabeth because I told them I go by Liz.
Right.
So that's how that happened. But then I was just kind of trying to understand what the email address would be used for in this instance, because if it's like give it out to clients or other agents and how to contact me or use me for referral purposes or something, then I'd give them my EXP address as
Now, I would bet you it's just the internal thing. If it's putting you into Trello, it's just their internal, so they can kind of track birthdays and holidays and celebrate your successes. Those kinds.
Thank you. And
You're welcome.
congratulations again,
You're
Craig PF on the babies and the birds. Awesome.
Thanks.
I agree. So what a beautiful way to start the morning. All right, y'all. I hope that you guys have unless anyone has anything else challenge-wise. PF, love you too. I hope you guys have amazing days. I am looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, and I'm going to work my ass off today with my workout because I flipping can. So yeah, that's right. All right. And I'm making my calls, Craig. Hint, hint, Craig.
Okay.
Yeah.
And listen.
Yeah.
I was reading that microdosing mushrooms, psilocybin,
Yeah.
with your workout.
Because you don't care?
Well, it rewires your brain so that you fight through the moments when you normally quit.
That's very good. That's what I have. Well, me and my trainer, because you will quit when you're only at like 70% or something like that. You will say, I don't have any more in you, but you do.
Yeah.
You do. Yeah.
I've really been researching this whole psilocybin thing.
This is really funny. So there's a really good, it's called Change Your Mind, I think, which is not what the documentary, what I thought it was going to be. It's all on all these different drugs, acid, mushrooms, peyote, God knows what else. And kind of the history behind it, it's just fascinating. Anyway, we watched it, and my husband, who he's never smoked pot his entire life. He barely had an alcohol drink before he met me. I mean, he just was straight, true, and narrow, right? And after we watched that, he literally was like, I should look into this microdosing thing. And I'm like, are you kidding me? He goes, well, they do not put an argument against it, do they? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
it's very interesting. It really
It
is.
is. It
Interesting
is.
stuff. So I encourage you to go find that documentary on Netflix. I can't remember the name of the guy. I think Liz knew the name of the guy because she and I tend to read the same stuff of who it is, but it's pretty amazing of the studies and the history and everything that he's done on those subjects.
And it's called Change Your Mind.
I think it's called Change Your Mind. I really do. Because I
Okay.
thought it was going to be about, mindset or something.
I
Yep.
can Google it too.
How to change your mind.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Michael
so-
Pollan,
yeah. See, I told you you'd know it. Yes, it is.
he's the food guy too. He does all the stuff about the omnivore dilemma or like,
Yes.
he does a lot of
Yes.
food stuff too, but
Okay.
yes.
So yeah, so how to change your mind. And I tell you, if I pick up a book, either Liz has already just read it or is in the middle of reading it. Every time.
Gotcha.
And yeah, and our subjects range well, obviously from LSD to health to God knows what. So I just finished Neil Gaiman. That's what I just finished. I just finished
Oh,
Neil
yeah.
Gaiman. Pardon
Yeah.
me?
That's a good one, yeah. Which one?
Nevermore.
Yeah.
Nevermore. Or Neverwhere.
Yeah.
Nevermore. Yeah. See, I'm telling you, if I read it, Liz has read it.
Well, it's
So
all-
Yeah. And
exactly.
and as much as I used to love to smoke pot, I tried it last week again. I was like, hey, let me hit that. Done.
I have not
No.
smoked it for 20 years, 30 years,
Yeah.
a long
Yeah.
time.
I'm not, I figured, I see that I'm not missing a thing.
Yeah.
So
I don't care anymore. I just don't.
no.
I have a good life. I like it. I'm at
Yeah.
the rat in the cage. I'm in rat heaven. Why would I have anything else? I'm in rat heaven. Rat heaven is good. So, all
I
right.
just finished watching a TV show from the mid-teens called Fringe, and what the major scientist there, the Brainiac, was always talking about LSD and mushrooms and all kinds of hallucinogens, and he was always like tripping because it helped him go beyond his imagination.
Mhm.
So I need to look into that because I was like, well, it's a little far-fetched. And
You want to talk, if you want to hear some stuff, PF, listen to Tim Ferriss.
Oh yeah.
He's done a lot on the psychedelic drugs.
Another one too.
Tim
Yeah.
Ferriss.
Tim actually did it. Okay.
Yeah,
Steve
he's done a
Jobs.
lot on the psychedelic drugs with
Yeah, I
Peter
did not know
Attia.
that.
He's done podcasts with Peter Attia, not necessarily on the psychedelic drugs, but I think he might have done the interview with Michael Pollan on his latest book that Gina just mentioned. But Tim Ferriss has been doing a lot on psychedelic drugs for a couple of years.
Steve Jobs says we would not have a computer if he hadn't taken LSD.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. The things that it unlocks in your brain, and the connections, and study after study after study shows that people who have done LSD in the past are completely creative people. And it just unlocks different sections of your brain and connects them in together in ways that they never were connected before.
Yeah.
And you think differently. So it's really interesting. So yeah, check out the Netflix How to Change Your Mind, which is basically the Michael Pollan book. Each week, each episode is a different drug. And I think he starts with acid first. And the acid one, no pun intended, blew my mind. This is like, wow. It's a brilliantly presented, it's a fascinating subject. And I'm telling you, it took my husband, who would never, it took me years to get him to try CBD oily stuff, that you put on for sore bones one time. And he just tried it. We moved to Florida. We were in St. Augustine and both of us were in massive pain. And I'm like, would you just be willing to try it? I'd never tried it. And I'm like, would you just be willing to try? And he's like, anything. Walked into some hippie chick looking lady that looked like Stevie Nicks on a bad day, and bought it and put it on. And we're like, oh my God. And then that's it. I mean, there's always some in the cabinet now. So
Yeah.
yeah, Mr. Buttoned Up to Here Thai guy is like, yeah, I might do
Yeah.
that. All right.
I introduced the CBD cream to my mom and dad, and he loves it. This stuff is like $40 or $50 a jar, but every time he runs out, he tells me, hey, go to your store and get me some of my cream.
You're a drug dealer. This is hilarious.
That's awesome.
This is so funny. Speaking of drugs, if you want a good special anti-drugs, watch John Mulaney's new comedy thing, because it talks about his intervention and coming off of cocaine, and it's very real and very good. Another really
Yeah.
good. Yep. So Greg used to hate him, but he's like, but he's different now. And I'm like, yeah, he's a real human being. He's a very real human being. He's just very blunt about it. It's great. So, all right, I gotta go. I gotta jump on my David call. So
All right.
Good seeing you guys.
Thank you guys.
Hey.
Love
good
each one of
seeing
you.
all y'all
PM,
too.
good
Love
to
you
see
all
you, man.
too. Congrats, PF, for grandpaing, and same with Craig.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.